everyone, just thought I would pop on and do a little bit of a kind of craft with me. I need to keep these quite short though, because for some reason I just find it really time consuming for things to upload. I don't know if that's my internet speed or what it is exactly. So what I wanted to do was to do something with a paper napkin, because I did some stuff with a paper napkin before for my Halloween journal, and I put down some paper napkin, and I also then Mod Podged it and then stenciled on top of it. So I kind of wanted to do that again because the stenciling on it just came out really amazing. So I wanted to give that another go. So what I've done is I started with a bit of A4 card. I've only got this kind of creamy coloured card, so that's what I've used. Now, if I'd had like a darker coloured card, I probably wouldn't have bothered putting the book page on. But because it's kind of creamy, and I know the book pages as well, I thought it would be more interesting to put some book page on it. And then stick the napkin onto the book page. So that was all done first. I just thought that wouldn't be very interesting for you to watch. So that's what I did with that. And then what I'm going to use first of all, just to kind of adhere it roughly, not really putting anything too much down and keeping it too sticky, and being too fussy about it. I'm just going to put that down first, and then, because I'm going to Mod Podge this, so it will be stuck down again. So I've got my napkin. This was a 2-ply black napkin, and I've pulled it apart so that I can just use the one, and it will show the words through it with that. So I'm just going to pop it down. I don't really worry too much about wrinkles because I kind of think they give it a little bit of extra character. That's that. Okay, so I haven't got any glue really down this end, so we'll just pop that down here. And just to keep the video kind of short and sweet, I'm just going to do this side at the moment. Now, see, I have probably should have laid it down a bit better so that I don't have to trim this bit off, but it's all good, it's all fine. So that's good. And you have to be really careful because you do rip these bits if you're not careful, but you know, chances are we're going to stencil over it anyway. We're going to probably stick other things on it, and we can just kind of try and cover that up a little bit, just make a little feature of it. But yeah, because we're just using 1 ply, it is very, very, it's very thin and fragile. So you've got to be careful. So that's just our one bit of black. What I'll probably do is cover this with a different napkin maybe to make some different kind of things. But just for the sake of this video, keeping it short, I'm just going to do this one piece. So then I'm going to get our Mod Podge, if we can actually undo the pack. Okay, so I've got a really soft brush because you're going to want to be gentle with this, you don't want to break it. So we're going to just pop down some Mod Podge. I don't want to go too thick with it. But we do want to coat it all. If you put too much Mod Podge on, I've discovered, that makes it much more likely that the paper will kind of wrinkle up a bit. So I actually don't mind that. I don't mind it if it gets a bit wrinkly. But yeah, I just got to be really careful because this is breaking up. I wasn't expecting it to do that. Okay, maybe I'm just going a bit rough. Let me just be more gentle and see what happens. I'll just go really, really gently. because once the actual Mod Podge layer is on it, it won't crack then. And maybe I'll just have to put a bit more Mod Podge on. Maybe I was trying to go a little bit too thin with it. So it's sort of less likely to break up if you go with a bit more of the liquid. Just going nice and gently. And use them enough so that we don't rough up the paper. Okay, let's just gently go over this. So it doesn't matter too much if there's a hole in it. It will just look a little bit more older and more distressed. And we can cover it up with a sticker or something else. It's all good. But yeah, you definitely gotta be careful when you're just dealing with a 1-ply. I could have left the 2-ply together. I could have, but I kind of thought it'd be nice to do it with just one. A, because that's what I did before. And that's what worked really well before. But B, because I've got the book page down, I thought it'd be quite nice to be able to see the book page through. Okay. I love playing with a little bit of Mod Podgy, gluey sort of stuff like this. Just really reminds me of being back at school when I was a kid with the Copydex glue. It's very nostalgic for me. So yeah, I've put plenty on. I do think I was probably trying to go a bit thin before, and it'll dry see-through, so no need to worry about that. See, it's all breaking up at the edge. So yeah, just be gentle. Be gentle. Okay, so that's our Mod Podging done. And what I'll have to do is come back a bit later when that's dry to show you what we ended up with. Ooh, what we ended up with. So it is all just going to tear away at the edges. So I'll just carefully place it down and leave it to dry so that it doesn't completely tear off. It's fine because the edges are going to trim anyway. But yeah, need to get rid of some of this. Hi everyone, just a little update video and to show you what I'm going to do now with the thing that I made with the can't get my words out today, napkin, which I stuck onto card with some book page over it. So this is what I'm left with. This is what I'm trying to recreate, really similar to this. I just really like the way that the words came through, and they really are. It does look really, really cool. So yeah, so that's what I'm kind of trying to sort of recreate. Don't know how successful that's going to be, but I just thought it would be fun to give it a try and to just see what we get. I'm just looking for some ink because what I wanted to do is put down some quite light coloured ink. See what it would look like. So the stencil that I'm going to use is, okay, so as you were. So this is what we've ended up with. This is, if you've seen the beginning, I'll probably try and tag this on if I can. It's a 1-ply covered in Mod napkin, covered in Mod Podge, stuck to a book page, stuck to a card. So that's what I've ended up with. It's rough texture to feel. So it gives you a different texture in your journal, which is always, I think it's always quite nice to have some different texture. So to get this to show up, I'm going to use this. Let's just pop it up here and see. We're going to see what we end up with. So I think what I used, I can't remember, was like a lilac-y colour. I don't have a white ink. I don't know if you can actually get a white ink. Not even thought about that really. But let's just see what this comes out like, because it came out really good last time. So I'm hoping that it's going to come out really good this time. So I'm using just one of these brushes to do the stenciling. I find for this particular stencil, it's the best possible thing to do because it's very, very, the cutouts are very, very fine. And unless you can get a brush right in there, see how cool that is. You can't make it show through. You can't do it with a dauber. Let me move that up a bit. Let's just try again here. I just really love the way this looks. Because I was sort of despairing of this stencil, really thinking, oh, it's never going to really be useful for anything very much because it takes such an effort to get it to come out. But now I know this works. See how cool that is? That is really cool. Because it shows up really, really well. So that's great. I love, love, love the way that that looks. Just to see a bit of something different, I'm going to take that there. And what have I got here? That's that, isn't it? I know this is going to get into trouble for doing this. But wait a minute, let me just get this ink, because this is a slightly different colour. We'll see what we get. I'm just going to take an old bit of book page that I've got here. I'm just going to clean this off so that it doesn't leave too much. If it's going to leave any residue, it won't leave much. Yeah, that seems to be, although it does look still like it's lilac, it doesn't look too bad. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this. This is called Tattered Rose. Get plenty on there. I'm just going to use this. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, since it's Tattered Rose, I'm going to put it over the part that has become a bit tattered and just see what comes out. This is all a bit of an experiment, so, you know, bear with me. It may be great. It may not. Let's see what comes out. See, actually, that looks really cool. I really, really like the way that this works. This is rather good. So I'm just going to take... It's going to be great for like spooky or a tarot-y kind of journal. As a bookmark, maybe. In something like that. Let's see. Yeah, it's great. I like it a lot. And you can just do part. You don't have to do the whole design. Just do a little bit. You can make it faded. You can make it bolder. Really love it. Really love it. I'm just going to pop another little bit down here. So we've got one side of it with the kind of damask or damask design. Just great. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. I'm just going to, again, rub this over here. I'm just going to do a little bit more with the words, because I do like the words. Let's maybe do the other side of the words with the kind of pinky colour. Now this may be a bit messy because, as you can see, I haven't cleaned it since I used the black. But let's see what happens. Yeah, it's still there. It still shows. It's great. I love it. Absolutely love it. So I'm just going to get rid of some of the pink. Use a little bit more of the lilac. Let's just put some more words up here. So we kind of filled the whole thing with words and damask or damask. And we could actually, if we wanted to, I don't know how this would work, but we can give it a try. It's not going to be a disaster. Just on that middle bit there where it's quite pale, I'm going to try and put some words there and see if they show up. They might not. It might not work at all. Let's see. Oh, they have. Look at that. Oh, that is so cool. Really, really like that. Really like it. So, as an experiment, I think that worked really well. So all you really needed was a bit of card, some book page, a paper napkin, some Mod Podge to just go over it. And then all you need is a couple of inks and a stencil. This is a word stencil, just a damask stencil. Now you don't have to spend huge amounts of money on stencil. I think that stencil cost me £1. So, you know, not expensive. If you don't have that though, what you could do, if you have nice writing, is to just do this and then maybe put a different stencil background and then just maybe get a white pen or a white pencil and just write yourself. Just write something yourself and just don't even have to make it legible. You could just, you know, just do it in scribbly format. So there are other ways that you could achieve a similar kind of effect without having loads and loads of stuff. But like I say, those stencils were not expensive. And the thing is, once you've got a stencil, you've got it forever, and you can just do so much with stencils, and that you can buy them quite inexpensively if you look around. Get them second hand, you know, it doesn't matter, does it? But yeah, I'm absolutely loving that. I'm really, really pleased with it. So worthwhile, worth the effort of taking the thing apart and gluing it all down and letting it dry, because the effect, I think, is really, really cool. Hope you do too. I will hopefully tag this onto the other video, otherwise it'll be a part 1 and part 2. Thanks very much for watching though, and I'll see you. Oh, if you could like, subscribe, follow, all of that lovely stuff, that would be great. Thanks very much. Bye for now.